friends, welcome to today's video. Today we are talking all about the brand new Natasha Denona GLAM palette. I haven't been, well, that's not true. I was really excited about Mel's palette. I was gonna say I haven't been this excited about a new palette launch in a while, but before Mel's palette, it had been a long time since I've been excited this much about an eyeshadow palette. I pre-ordered this the day before it launched. I didn't do expedited shipping. I did like the next option, and I felt like it took forever to get here. But it came yesterday, right after I had done my makeup. So today is the first day that I've played with it. Spoiler alert, I love it. I created this makeup look, and I really tried to incorporate a lot of the shades from this palette into this look. I will definitely be doing more tutorials soon using this palette, so you guys will see a variety of looks over the coming weeks. I love this palette. I won't talk too much about this because I do talk about it as we get started with the makeup, but I love that the entire palette for me is very wearable, and meaning that they're all neutral tones. Every single shade in here I will wear. I'm not, in a situation where there's maybe 1 to 3 shadows in the palette that I'm never going to touch, which is kind of the case with a lot of palettes. I think she did a really great job curating the perfect mix of neutral shades. It's definitely more a cool tone palette, but you do get a couple of warm shades in here too. You get a good assortment of shimmer shades, metallic shades, and matte shades. I can't say enough great things about you guys. I really love it. And I also love that the price point, is it just me or are they starting to come down on Natasha Denona? I don't own any of her large palettes because I just couldn't bring myself to spend, 160 or 220 or whatever they were on the big ones. But I do have a lot of her 5 palette ones, and I love those. The formula, the quality is always just so impressive. So I was expecting the same from this palette, and I feel like it's a little different formula, but I still feel like it's great. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the tutorial, and thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed to my channel and you like this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button. All right, guys, let's get started. Okay, so we are ready to get started with makeup. I have prepped my eyelids by using the Alter Ego eyeshadow base. This is a newer shadow base that I've been using that I really enjoy. It's transparent, so it doesn't have any color to it, but it has a slight brightening effect. So it is going to magnify any shadow that you use. It's basically going to pull that true pigment out of every shadow you use and make it more intense. It's also sheer in consistency, so it shears out really nicely, so you're not going to have to worry about getting a patchy application. If you use a primer that's too thick and it's harder to shear out, there are going to be little patches on the lid that grab shadow where others don't. So I really like this formula, and I like that it has a little doe foot wand applicator. So good job, Alter Ego. Okay, so now we're going to dive into the palette. I want to show you guys kind of a close-up of it before we get started. It is definitely a cool tone leaning palette, which is nice because I feel like the majority of palettes we see lately are very warm. And this is definitely more cool tone, but there are a couple of shades in here that lean a little warm. So I think you get really a great assortment of neutral shades. This palette has my name all over it, or it should have my name all over it. I love every color in here. I feel like with most palettes, there's always, 1 to maybe 3 shades that I rarely use. Not the case in this. I think every single one of these shadows are going to get a lot of use. There are 15. You get a good assortment of matte shades, and you also get some metallic shades and some shimmer shades. So I'm excited to dive in. I haven't played with this at all. It arrived yesterday, and I'd been waiting for it, and I got done doing my makeup yesterday, and then I got online and checked my tracking email to see where in the heck was my palette, and it said that FedEx had delivered it to my door like 45 minutes before, and I ran outside, and sure enough, there it was. They didn't ring the doorbell, but there it was, and I was like, if I had only gotten it an hour earlier, I would have done my makeup with it yesterday. What's interesting to me about this palette is that the shade names are basically instructions. It's basically telling you where to apply each shade, which is very interesting. I don't know that I've really seen that done in like a high-end or luxury cosmetic, palette. And in looking at them, it's very interesting that you will notice all of the lid shades, so the outer lid, the inner lid, they all have shimmer to them. And all of the matte shades are more of the crease, the transition shade, how to kind of smoke or add intensity to the look. But all of the shimmer shades, you guys, are lid. Actually, I take that back. There's one that's brow bone. But the reasoning behind that is because, you know, shimmer shades really reflect light. They give the illusion of something protruding a bit. So in the crease, we like to create more definition. That's why we go with more matte shades, because they absorb light and they're going to give you that definition. When you use shimmer in the crease, it is basically going to make that area look flatter, and it's going to kind of go against the goal of creating definition. So little kind of background in why you will notice all the shimmer shades are for the lid. You'll also notice that the lighter shimmer shades are typically focused in the inner lid. The medium shimmer shades are the center lid, and the darker shimmer shades are for the outer lid. And that, of course, is also to create the illusion of a like brighter, more open eye, because not only do textures reflect light, but so does color. So lighter shades are going to make an area appear a little bit larger. Darker shades are going to make an area appear a little bit smaller, or not necessarily smaller, but bright shimmer shades really open up the eye. So you'll notice that you'll see a lot of that in the inner corner of the eye. So I am so excited to dig into this. So let's go ahead and get started. I don't know if I mentioned, I think I did, the primer is already on my eyes. So I'm gonna go in and I am going to dig right in here to, I'm actually gonna go with this shade. It says Transition. But I'm gonna mix that with a little bit of the shade that they're calling for the brow bone, because honestly, this one for the brow bone is too shimmery for my taste on the brow bone, and it seems a little too dark, honestly, for my brow bone. So we're just gonna mix these two together so I get a nice kind of blend of the right color and also the right texture, okay? So we're gonna take this on the BK Beauty 206 brush, and I'm just gonna apply it right underneath the brow. This brush is a fluffier brush. If I were to use something smaller and more dense, then I would get more payoff. This is also a great brush to use if you are using like a shimmery shade on the brow like this that is more shimmer than I like on the brow. This brush is going to pick up less of it. It's not going to apply it in a real intense fashion. So I do recommend using it when you're using shimmer underneath the brow. Okay, that's nice. I am finding that I need to go kind of back and build. Neither of the colors are real light. Even so the lightest matte shade, that transition shade, is not even really that light. I usually like a little more brightness under the brow, and that's turning a little, like almost kind of slightly, almost slightly gray, but not in a bad way. Just I just like my brow highlight to be a little bit brighter, but that's okay. Okay, next we're gonna go in. Ooh, lots of fallout, or lots of kickback here. Okay, next we're gonna go in with, I'm gonna use this shade right here, the one that's called Blend. It's kind of a warmer, like soft, peachy matte shade. I'm gonna put that one in the crease, and I'm gonna take a pretty fluffy crease brush. This is the 201, and I'm just gonna get this on the lid. There is quite a bit of kickback on these shadows, but that's okay. That really doesn't bother me when there's a lot of kickback in a palette. Some of my favorite palettes have a lot of kickback. Oh, that's a pretty color. That's really nice. It's definitely one of the warmer shades in the palette, but it's not too orangey. It's like the perfect level of warmth, in my opinion. So I'm just gonna blend that back and forth and kind of build it. You'll notice that it's a little bit more rich and intense on the outer corner. That's where I like to start, and then I like to blend whatever's left into the inner corner and kind of take it right up here into my brow right there. Pretty. I like to slightly raise my brows when I apply my crease color because it is gonna give a little bit of a lift. I also want to make sure that I apply the color so that it's diffused and visible just above the crease. You want it to kind of be like a halo above that crease. If you really focus it on getting it right there in the crease, and you just, you know, work so hard just to get it right there in the crease, when you open your eyes, that color will disappear and it'll almost kind of drag your eye down. You can apply it there, but you want to blend it so that a little bit of that color fades up higher. Do you see what I'm doing here? And if you raise your brows, you can really do that. I also find looking directly into the mirror versus looking back like this is a better technique to get the placement right. Just look straight into the mirror. Oh, this color is so pretty. So pretty. And I've always been a fan of her shadow formulas. They're just really top-notch, high quality, lots of pigment, real creamy. You don't have to work too hard to get it out off the brush. Really, really nice. I do find that this one's a little more work to blend, but it looks great. I love it. Ooh, okay. Okay, next I'm gonna go in and kind of gotta blow that. I am gonna take, what are we gonna take? Let's take, we're gonna take this shade right here. It's for the outer lid. It's kind of like a deep taupey metallic shade. We're gonna take that and we're gonna apply that on the outer eyelid, just as it says. They make it real simple for you. And I'm taking a pencil brush and I'm just going to lay it right there on the outer corner and kind of pack it on, bring it to about middle of the eyelid. Okay, so that's definitely a beautiful, like smoky metallic shade. Very, very smoky. This is a good color for a smoky eye. If you wanted to do this all over the eye, you could, this would be a good color because it's not too dark, but it's deep enough. It'll give you that really sultry, smoky eye. I do find that these to be, they're nice, but I don't feel like they're the same. Are they the same formula as the little 5-pan ones? They seem a little different. Okay, next I'm going to take the 206 brush that I used for the brow highlight. Actually, that was a mistake. I'm taking the crease brush. I meant to take the crease brush that I used, and I'm just going to blend these two together. I didn't add anything to the brush. I'm just kind of blending the two together. Pretty. Okay, I want to deepen up the outer corner a bit, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to use this shade right here, the smoke color. It's this matte brown. It actually is translating a little bit lighter on camera than it is in the palette. We're going to take this and we're going to concentrate that right out here on the outer corner and kind of just work in little circles to build up that outer corner. So I'm really keeping that, if you notice, I'm keeping it in the same placement. I'm just moving it back and forth in little circles, but I'm not taking it all the way over. I don't want it to get too heavy and too dark over here because that'll really weigh the eye down. I'm really just, like I said, keeping my brush pretty much in the same spot and just, you know, kind of buffing out that little area. Pretty. Okay, that is so pretty. Okay, next I want to brighten the inner corner, and we're going to go in with this shade right here. It's just called Inner Corner. You guys, I feel like these shades, I appreciate the, you know, the instruction, but I feel, I don't know, I want some creativity in these names. Okay, I'm going to take the 203 brush, and I'm going to load up the side, and we're going to just pack it right on there. So pretty. Ooh, that's pretty. I like that. I do think this palette was was made for me. Not really, but not only the shades, but the way that she has the placement of the shadows. It's like my kind of signature eye look. You know, that lightness, shimmer in the inner corner, and then darker in the outer corner. I like to pack that on. Ooh, these are pretty. I like that transition of the light shimmer shade. So I use these two shades on the lid, and I really like how they transition together. Like really, really nice. Very seamless. You can definitely tell it's lighter in the inner corner, but you still, it just blends so, you know, seamless. You don't see a harsh line. Okay, next I'm gonna take that pencil brush again. I'm gonna take that darker shade and kind of pack it on a little bit more, bring it over a little bit. There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, next I'm going to go in, I'm going to take that same shade we started with, that kind of warm matte transition shade, and we're going to take a little bit and just kind of buff it back over. When I went in with that darker shade, it kind of toned down that a little bit, and I want you to see a peak of that peach. Just a peak. Pretty. Okay, that's gorgeous. Okay, next we're going to intensify the lash line. So I'm going to go in with this shade right here that is called Lash Line, and we're going to take a tiny, tiny little angle brush. This is the BK Beauty 208, and I'm going to just really kind of work this into the outer half of my lash line. I like this shade because it's not like a true black, but it's deep. It's a deep shade. It's a great shade for liner. And I'm going to pull it up a little bit. I love this brush because it really makes like a simple winged liner so easy. It does all the work for you. If you struggle with a winged liner, or if you have hooded eyes and you struggle with a winged liner and you want a little bit of a wing, this brush is great because it's so tiny that it gets, I mean, it's really impossible to kind of mess it up. I really think that it's impossible to mess up a winged liner with this brush. Unless you're like trying to, you know? I mean, it's just like so easy as long as you have the right product, and this shadow is a really good product for it. Or you can use it with gel liner, cream shadow. Okay, for the lower lash line, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. It's actually for the outer eyelid. We're gonna use this one underneath the lower lash. And I'm trying to use as many of these as I can in this tutorial. This looks similar to the first one we did. To me, these both look pretty similar. The main difference to me is the texture. This one is more of a metallic formula, where this is more of a, like, just a kind of shimmer. Oh, and this one definitely leans more like taupey. Ooh, that's really pretty. I'm excited to use that. So we're going to use that with the Smudge It brush. This is the BK Beauty 204. And we're going to kind of work this into the lower lash line. And I like to start in the outer corner because this is a darker shade. I want to start in the outer corner because I want it to be the darkest there. I don't want it to be too dark and too heavy as we get inward. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, I like that. All right, I'm gonna also go back with a clean crease brush and just kind of make sure we don't have any extra shadow there. Okay, I wanna make it a tad bit darker, so I'm gonna take, I'm actually gonna take the same brush and we're gonna go in with, let's see, we'll go in with the shade Smoke. I think this one here is gonna be too dark for the lower lash line, so we're gonna go with the shade Smoke. So I just want it to be a little bit darker right out there. Pretty. Okay, perfect. All right, and then the last thing that I'm gonna do is I want to highlight that inner corner a bit. And I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. It's actually called Inner Corner. And I'm gonna take a tiny bit of this on a fluffy brush. I'm not taking like a pencil brush or a Smudge It brush because that'll really pick up a lot. And I don't want it to be that intense. I want it to be soft. So I'm just gonna take this brush and we're just gonna softly place that right there. Wow, and even with this brush and a light application, you get a lot of payoff with that. Pretty, okay. Next, I'm gonna line the inner rim with a white brightening pencil. This is by Wet n Wild. It's actually their brow highlight. And I'm just gonna give a little bit of brightness there. Ooh, so pretty, okay. And then we're going to put a little mascara. This is the Climax Extreme Mascara by NARS. I'm gonna put a little bit of this on the lower lashes. Not too much. Okay, and then the tiniest bit on the upper lashes. I usually don't put mascara on my extensions, but they're a little unruly today. I'm due for a fill soon, so. Ooh, oh, I love this. This is beautiful. I love this look. Wow, so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna go and apply my lipstick and I will be right back. And this is the finished look. I can't say enough how much I love this look. I love this look. It's a bit more dramatic than I normally wear, but the color scheme is just so beautiful. And I definitely wanted to make this look a little bit more glam. The palette name is Glam, so I feel like, you know, you gotta do it justice. Love this palette. If you are a neutral girl, you will love this palette. If you like bold, bright colors, you're really not gonna find that here, but who doesn't like a good neutral palette? This is beautiful and it's, you know, predominantly cool tone. So I feel like it's very different than a lot of things we've seen lately. You know, I feel like most palettes that are coming out are more warm because warm tones really are complementary on most people. But this is so beautiful. And I like that she incorporated a little bit of warmth there. And with this look here, I incorporated warm shades and I incorporated cool shades. And I love the way that it came out. So highly recommend this palette, highly recommend it. And that wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this look. Let me know what you think. If you picked up this palette and you've had a chance to play with it, I would love to know your thoughts down below. I am gonna start including time codes in the description box. You can always reference this tutorial later and kind of find, you know, places in the video that you might be needing help with your makeup. So I will have all the links and including my lips, what's on my lips, in the description box below. Natasha Denona, good job. Love this palette. This is definitely going to stay on the vanity for a while and get a lot of good use. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.